With one of the most lethal left hands in boxing, the body snatcher Dillian Whyte is a name associated with chaos, controversy and carnage. Now, he may well go down as one of the most entertaining heavyweights of this era, but Dillian Whyte's introduction to combat sports wasn't the product of a national programme or Olympic scouting. It was instead a discovery sparked by a casual invitation from a friend to try kickboxing. And from the moment he stepped into that gym, it became clear that he had found something he both needed and understood instinctively. A space where his aggression had structure and where, for the first time, there was a tangible reward for his love of violence. So he took absolutely no time at all in making an impact. Before the age of 20, Whyte had already claimed British and European kickboxing titles and was ranked #1 nationally in his weight class. And while some would have remained satisfied with that level of dominance, Whyte wanted to go further, and his insatiable hunger to fight led him briefly into the world of mixed martial arts.
Fighter versus jiu-jitsu man. And I tell you now, Mark Stroud will be making a big mistake if he stands and trades with Dillian.
As you said, that a good leg kick, but a right hand follows that sees Mark Stroud out cold.
However, as talented as he was, the financial reality of life in kickboxing and regional MMA just wasn't appealing enough for the one they called the Body Snatcher. And so, in pursuit of a better opportunity and eyes set on the biggest stage possible, Whyte made his move into professional boxing. And in 2009 he made his amateur debut, which remarkably saw him outpoint a young upcoming superstar, Anthony Joshua, a name that would become central to Whyte's turbulent journey. Now, unfortunately, his amateur ambitions were cut short by a dispute with the Amateur Boxing Association that left him unable to compete in their sanctioned events, effectively blocking his path toward Olympic qualification. So in 2011, he made the decision to turn pro and was backed by promoter Frank Maloney, who was impressed by Whyte's sparring sessions with former world champion David Haye. So the early stages of Whyte's professional career were about adapting and finding his feet as he had done with kickboxing. And though he won his first few bouts on points, it didn't take long for his knockout power to re-emerge, with 5 consecutive stoppages capturing attention and positioning himself as a dangerous up-and-comer. But just as that momentum began to build, in 2012 he suffered a significant setback when a routine drug test came back as a failure. A banned stimulant which, according to Whyte, came from a pre-workout supplement that had only recently been added to the ban list. And while the context was murky, the outcome was decisive. A 2-year suspension that put his career on hold at a crucial moment. Now, for all the frustration that came with the ban, Whyte remained focused, and when he returned to the ring in 2014, he did so with renewed purpose, quickly stringing together a series of dominant performances that culminated in December 2015 with the fight that reignited one of British boxing's most compelling rivalries, a high-stakes professional bout against Anthony Joshua at a packed O2 Arena in London.
Look at this, look at that grin on his face there. It's like, I got you. And Whyte at the moment is backed up.
Yeah, but
trying to just roll with it here.
Yeah, he has. 9 rounds. That's a frantic
one on the bell. Oh, and look, Whyte's gone crazy. Oh. Banks is in there straight away. Well, Joshua certainly landed after the bell. Everybody's in there. Peter Sims looks like he wants to have a go. Too many more of those, though.
Yeah. Oh, there's a bigger left hook, Nick.
Oh, and he's shaking
Nick,
here.
That's that counter left hook we were talking about earlier.
Joshua's wobbling. Now, what a moment this is for Whyte. Early in the second round, Joshua shaken down to his foundations.
Oh, it's a big shot, Nick.
Rocked him early out of nowhere. Another right hand as he left himself wide open again there, Whyte, and has paid for it. Big right hand. Joshua looks like he's in no rush. He's playing the matador in there at the moment.
Oh!
Bludgeoned him with a huge right uppercut. Whyte is down, and I'm not sure he's getting up from that.
So how can we forget Whyte landing that absolute peach of a left hand? But unfortunately for him, he dislocated his shoulder just as he was about to capitalise on it, and ultimately Joshua's composure and conditioning carried him on to that 7th round stoppage. His first professional defeat, but still he had made a major mark on the heavyweight scene. So rather than retreat, Whyte responded responded the only way he knew, by getting back in the ring, this time with trainer Mark Tibbs in his corner, and embarking on a steady rise that saw him defeat Dave Allen and Ian Lewison in 2016 to claim the British heavyweight title, followed by a grueling showdown later that year with Derek Chisora, which upon the build-up turned into one of the most exciting domestic fights of the decade.
Because listen, I am the baddest man you ever. Yeah? Stay.
I have got the DVD of him kissing the canvas.
Bring the DVD out.
Thank you, I shall bring it out.
Did he knock you out?
Nope.
So you came to the gym on a train.
Ask
then
your
after
trainer.
that, I paid for your taxi to go to the hospital, because you did
Go to the hospital, what?
Yes. Mate, I know so.
Mate, you're talking rubbish. You're an idiot.
And AJ walked away with 3 million.
You're an idiot.
Who's the idiot?
You're an idiot.
Who's the idiot?
You're an idiot. I got
Who's the
250
donkey?
grand.
Who's the donkey?
You look like one now.
Who is the
You
donkey
look like one now. Trust me, I got
You're
more than
a
that.
goat.
I got
Yeah.
more than
so
that.
you want me to put it on you? I'll put it on you. I'll put it on you.
So it ended up being an absolutely unforgettable war, and helped to solidify the Body Snatcher's place as one of the division's most watchable and unpredictable fighters. Then in the months and years that followed, Whyte remained one of the most active heavyweights, defeating Robert Helenius and delivering a punishing knockout of Lucas Brown in 2018, a fight that propelled him up the ladder and firmly into the big time.
Shot one more, but he can't. Left hand lays him out. Dillian Whyte.
Wilder, let's go! Let's go! Let's go! I'm ready! Let's get it, Deontay! Let's go! No more excuse. Forget Joshua just doesn't be ready in time. Let's do this!
Now, despite being the WBC's #1 ranked contender, Whyte's calls were ultimately dismissed and would be for years to come. So instead, he took the hard road, and that same year faced former world champion Joseph Parker in what was a very interesting matchup. And whilst he dominated much of the fight, he had to survive a dramatic moment just before the final bell rang.
Right, left foot straight right, but then beyond him with the body, then be back on him again with another corner.
Great left foot. Massive left hand. And that's what knocked out Lucas Brown. Parker's on his feet. That's a huge knockdown.
Scenes here, guys. Big right hand.
He's hurting.
He's gone. He's out on his feet.
27 seconds left.
20 seconds.
He's in real trouble here. Is he going to be stopped?
No, he won't stop it. He's got to give him an opportunity. He's got to give him a chance.
Parker.
Oh, no.
To the end. Is he going to...
He survived this round. He survived.
So yes, shaky times, but a very important win nonetheless. Then later that December, he met Chisora once again in a rematch that, while less chaotic in the build-up, ended with an emphatic statement, as Whyte landed a perfect left hook in the 11th round to bring a conclusive end to the rivalry. So after this fight, negotiations for a rematch with Anthony Joshua were promising, but they ultimately fell through over the financials, prompting Whyte to take on Oscar Rivas in July 2019 and having to come through some adversity once again. However, unfortunately for Dillian, the aftermath was again marred by controversy when a VADA test revealed an adverse finding. Whyte stayed silent as the case played out in the background, but eventually he did return when UKAD found the failure to be attributed to contamination. Whyte was back in the game and ready to continue on his rampage. So after defeating Marius Wack on the undercard of Joshua's rematch with Andy Ruiz, the COVID-19 pandemic brought the sport and the world to a halt. And when boxing resumed, Whyte stepped in against Alexander Povetkin in a fight many viewed as a routine stay-busy contest. And it was looking exactly like that, a run-of-the-mill dominant Whyte display after 2 knockdowns in the early rounds, but the script was ripped up out of nowhere in that now infamous round 5.
From a very good one, what a shot from Alexander Povetkin, and he's knocked Dillian Whyte cold here in the 5th round.
So although on the very edge of achieving his dream of fighting for a world title, this now left his hopes in complete tatters. However, showing his trademark resilience, Whyte immediately demanded a rematch, and in March 2021, he got exactly that. This time in Gibraltar, with COVID restrictions opening up, he was able to utilise the energy of the crowd, a luxury he didn't have before, and the display was a replica of the first, but this time without that unexpected end.
Oh, good shot as well, and the ropes keep him up, and now he's in big trouble, and down goes Povetkin, and it has been a polished performance
So yes, emphatically avenging this loss, put himself back in line for a world title opportunity. Whilst waiting for the outcome of Fury Wilder 3, he took a keep busy fight with Otto Wallin, which was then called off due to injury. Just as well really, because after Fury dismantled Wilder for the second time, the WBC called Whyte on to take his shot. And in April 2022, after more than 1600 days as a WBC top contender and desperate for that world title fight, he finally got it when he faced Tyson Fury at Wembley Stadium in front of 94,000 fans.
Fury with the uppercut! What a punch! The right uppercut! Punch! He beats the count, but he doesn't know where he is. The bell might know it's off! It's called off! It's all over!
Now it was the biggest night of his career, and although he was very game, Fury proved to be too skilled and just too sharp. Once again, it was that dreaded uppercut that ended Dillian's night. However, with a reported £8 million payday, Dillian had secured life-changing wealth in one of the most brutal sports in the world. So in a way, it wasn't all bad. Now, of course, he could never be content with that loss, and he returned later that year to edge unbeaten American Jermaine Franklin in a close decision that kept alive hopes of a long-anticipated rematch with Joshua. The fight was now done, and it was the perfect fight for both in their comeback to the top of the division. But just days before that fight could happen in 2023, Whyte was removed from the card due to another failed drug test. Another episode that severely harmed his legacy in the sport. However, in 2024, upon a lengthy wait, he ended up being cleared for the failing by the Texas Athletic Commission, and he was looking for yet another resurgence. He defeated veteran Christian Hammer and then laboured through an uninspired win over Ebenezer Tete, a performance that has raised questions about what is left in the Body Snatcher's tank. But as always, Whyte remained undeterred and chose not to take an easy fight next to continue his winning streak. Instead, he now faces one of the sport's brightest young prospects in Moses Itauma, a dangerous touted to be upcoming superstar with lethal speed and dynamite power. And when asked how he feels about the fight, he replied in the most Dillian Whyte way possible.
I think everyone thinks, oh, Moses is getting Dillian at the right time. That's what I'm kind of getting at. People think you're done, really.
Yeah, that's right. And that's everyone's opinion, you know. You guys said it with so much confidence and so much bass in your voice and using your chest to say it. So yeah, it's great. You know, I don't want to hear nothing when he gets beaten. I don't want to hear, oh yeah, he's a kid, this and the other. No, I tell you to go f yourself. You know?
Now, his story is not without major flaws and controversy, but his impact on British boxing cannot be denied, because for over a decade, Dillian Whyte has been a central figure in the heavyweight division, not just for what he's accomplished, but for the risks he's taken, the rivalries he's helped shape, and the excitement he's brought to the British scene. He never came from a privileged or Olympic glory background, and he never had the benefit of a protected path. But he's fought the best, stood back after crushing setbacks, and continued to chase greatness on his own terms. What happens in the Moses fight is ultimately a mystery, because we just don't know if we're going to see shades of the Dillian of old. Though if we do, this fight is going to end up being an absolute beauty. August the 16th, do not miss it.